This video has kindly been sponsored by Function of Beauty. Y'all ask me all the time how I got my hair this long and this healthy, which thank you very much. And the answer is I have been using Function of Beauty for a minute and they have finally sponsored me, and so now I'm gonna tell you about it. I'm very picky about what I put on and in my hair, especially when it comes to things like parabens and sulfates, making sure that they're vegan and that they're 100% cruelty free. But also it's hard to find a shampoo and conditioner that are made for my hair. My hair is like oily and dry, and it's also not super thin, but it's definitely not super thick. So what better than shampoo and conditioner that are designed specifically for you? You go into Function of Beauty and you take their hair quiz, and this will determine what needs you have in regards to what can your shampoo and conditioner do for you. What are you looking for? I have fine hair, but I have a lot of it. What I want out of my shampoo and conditioner is to manage my oily scalp, also nourish the rest of my hair. You can put your little name on it. You guys know I love my name on things. And I chose the color. Was it a surprise that Paige chose pink? Sorry, they didn't have any beige, so pink was what we settled with. And then when it comes to fragrance, I chose the pear fragrance. And then because I'm extra, I also got a hair serum. Oh, it's my favorite thing. As soon as I put it in, you can feel the difference. Not only does it feel like it detangles my hair, but it makes it so soft and smooth. I've been using Function of Beauty for a few months now, and I can already notice like my hair is so much softer, and I can go like an extra day without getting that good shampoo in there. And it feels stronger, you know? Like I feel like you could get a good tug on her and we're not gonna get that much breakage. And for my sensitive skin beauties out there, like me, Function of Beauty products have been tested by dermatologists, so we know that they will not irritate our scalps. And they also abide by Europe's regulations, not the FDA's, which the FDA only bans 11 ingredients, but Europe bans 1,400. So we know that we're getting the extra good, safe stuff. And if you guys are interested in meeting your hair goals as well, you can click the link below to get 20% off your order. So make sure you guys click the link down below in the description. You can customize your own hair care routine and we can twin. Thank you so much, Function of Beauty, for sponsoring today's video. You guys are the best and I love you very much. So now let us get into the rest of the video. Hi guys, oh my god, did I even say hi? I couldn't even tell you. Anyway, if you do not know me, my name is Paige Layle. You may know me from TikTok. If you're not doing so already, be sure to check out my TikTok at Paige Layle, and while you're at it, you could follow my Instagram with the same name. Hey, and you're here, and you may or may not have just watched that entire ad. You're so cool. But if you like me, and you maybe want to know more about me, and you maybe want to talk to me a little bit more, you could subscribe down below and turn on the notification bell to get notified when I post new videos, which happens to be every Friday. Or like, you know, most Fridays if I'm not a burnt out pile of poop. But if you guys are new here and you do not know me, hello, my name is Paige and I am an autistic human being. That is right, my brain is weird. And so up in here we talk about autism and stuff. That is as generic as I'm getting. I asked some of you guys over on Instagram to tell me some misconceptions that you know or that you've heard of about autism, and today I'm going to sit down and I'm going to answer them and tell you why they are misconceptions and why they are not conceptions. English, I don't know. Why they are not true. So let us get into that. So if you have any misconceptions about autism, or if you think that you super know what autism is, I would suggest you stick around and maybe we'll learn something. We're all a little autistic. Don't I hear that every single day? No, we are not. The autism spectrum is not a linear spectrum, and we don't go more to less autistic, because that would include everybody else, like neurotypicals. Like it's like you have like one person who's the most autistic and we can just line up every single autistic person. Like you're a little less autistic. And so then that means like that the spectrum is actually includes every human being in the world. That is not true. The autism spectrum isn't even a line. It's not even linear. The autism spectrum does not include people that are not autistic. Contrary to popular belief, autism is a thing. Autism is a diagnosis. If you can get diagnosed with autism, that likely means that not every single person is autistic. Because last thing I remember is I did not get diagnosed with having 2 feet, because most people have 2 feet. That is not news. We're straight up not all just a little autistic. But funny thing is that autistic people are human beings, and so, you know, sometimes we do human being things, in which case you could be like, I also do human being things. Does that mean I'm autistic? No, Paul, it means that autistic people are humans and we do human things. But on the off chance that there's something that I do or something that I say that autistic people do, and you go, not true because I do that thing and I'm not autistic. Paul, you could be. You could be autistic. There's always a possibility too that you could also be autistic and just not know. That's like a big thing. Like I wasn't diagnosed with autism till I was 15, and that's early considered, especially for someone that looks like me. Paul could be autistic. So, you know, I would recommend you not say this, because it kind of invalidates autistic people's struggles, saying that like everyone does that, everyone feels that that is untrue, actually. Our brains are different than yours, which is kind of cool. But if you feel like our brains are not different than yours, then maybe I would consider checking out what's going on with your own brain, because maybe we have the same brain. Stimming is involuntary. What a cool misconception. I'm very happy about this one. If you guys are unsure what stimming is, I have another video on it. You can go check it up. I'll put it, up in the eye. Stimming is voluntary. I think some people confuse stimming with tics. Tics are involuntary. You do not control them. They just happen. Stimming is voluntary, which means even if you feel like you do not want to stop and you cannot stop, you could choose not to stim. Would that be very hard for some people? Sure. And a lot of autistic people have tics and stims, so that can be difficult to kind of figure that out, which is a tic and which is a stim. This is a good point to make because a lot of people think you can actually like fake a stim. I see on TikTok people being like, you're faking stimming, you're faking it. Well, you can't fake something that's voluntary. If you're doing it, you're doing it. So when I see people on TikTok that are like, you're not autistic, you're fake stimming. There's no way to fake stim. Everybody stims. Everybody stims in some way or another. So this is a really good one. We can't be conventionally attractive. Something I like to say is that my body is not who I am. I just inhabit this body. Like when people say like, you're so pretty, I don't even know what to say thank you because I'm like, this isn't even me, Like this is just like the vessel, the human vessel that I'm in. Like this is just because of my parents. Like my parents are attractive people and then they made this. And I guess a lot of people would consider me conventionally attractive. And I'm autistic. So there, that's why, there's already a misconception there. But who I am, like who I actually am, has nothing to do with my exterior. How my brain developed has nothing to do with the way I look. And I actually personally, I don't know if you guys have seen the video where I'm talking about how I think everyone's faces are beautiful, but if you have not seen it, I think everyone's faces are beautiful. And so being conventionally attractive doesn't really make any sense to me because I think that societal beauty standards make no sense and they just don't work in my brain. So I actually think that every autistic person is conventionally attractive. That also may be a reason why I consider myself pansexual. But autistic people can look in any way because we don't get to control that. We're just given the genetic makeup that was gifted to us by our parents. All autistic people are bad at socializing or in social settings. Being autistic, a good amount of the time impacts our social development, impacts how we interact with others socially. I wouldn't consider any of us bad at socializing. I think that there's no right or wrong way to socialize. There's no rule book. We just do it differently than other people, and I feel like that's fine. I think everyone's perspectives of what good versus bad socializing is it's up to perspective. I consider a lot of neurotypical people bad at socializing, but that's from an autistic person's perspective. But if we were going off of neurotypical standpoints, yes, some autistic people can actually talk to you and have a conversation with you. We are human beings, and we can do some human being things sometimes. That doesn't make us any less autistic. Everyone has a different threshold for how long or how often they can do those things. And everyone has a different threshold to what those social situations will look like to them. For example, last night I went out with my friends. I had my earplugs in the entire time. And after about, I think it was 5 hours, I burnt out and shut down and then had to go to sleep. But in those 5 hours where I had my earplugs in, no one could really see them. I was talking and laughing and having a good time and smiling at people and doing all those neurotypical things. But I am still an autistic human. Sometimes us being good at socializing can be because of masking, or sometimes it can be because we like the people that we're with and we like to talk to them. That doesn't mean that we will be able to continue to do that forever. There's likely a point that we will need to stop doing that because it takes up a lot of energy. But very good one. Only cis white males can be autistic. We could get into this. This could be a whole freaking video. I don't know if you guys know, but studies like anywhere all the time have just been for cis straight white men. So autism is most, commonly pointed out in cis straight white men. I think that the thing is now that for every one girl that's autistic, there's 5 boys, or is it 4 boys now? Something like that. That there are a lot more boys than girls that are autistic. There are a lot more boys than girls that are diagnosed autistic. And that is even more expanded when we're talking about children that are not white. Yes, people of color are autistic sometimes, and they are much more likely of being misdiagnosed or not being diagnosed until very much later in life. And that is one of the reasons why everyone thinks that only cis straight white men can be autistic, because cis straight white men get all of the opportunities to get diagnosed properly. But in fact, anybody ever could be autistic. Crazy talk, I know, but it's the truth. They're mentally younger. I hate this. Can we talk about, no, you know what, we'll save this for another video. Mental age isn't a thing. It's ableist in so many ways, and it's just weird. It's another way for people to infantilize autistic people oftentimes, and also often used as an excuse to often not teach and not accommodate autistic human beings, especially autistic adults. Like those autism moms that are like, I can't teach my son not to harass people. Mentally, he's 3. Karen, your son's 27 years old, and he knows what words are, and he knows words. First of all, it's your duty as a parent to teach your kid that they're not allowed to hurt others. Also, autism is not a behavioral disorder. I think that we've talked about this a lot. And saying that a person is a different age mentally just because of how they act or look on the exterior doesn't make sense. Yeah, mental age doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. I can't even really gather my head around like why we decided that was an okay thing, because even at like age 6, every kid is different. Every human being is different. I don't know how we were like, this is the path that people grow and develop. If you are an aging human, you are growing and developing. I don't know why we can just be like, they're 6. They are 6 years old. They are not 6 years old. They are 27 years old. But their head is like a 6-year-old. No, their head is like a 27-year-old because they're 27. And also, are we just gonna forget that they went through puberty and also are able to vote? I just don't know. It just doesn't make any sense to me, and it's not fair, and it doesn't help anybody, and it's just infantilizing. Mental age is gross, period. Autistic people cannot speak or properly communicate. What is proper and what is not proper is gross. First of all, I don't know if you guys know, but I'm not a fan of society. I don't fit in. I'm weird. I'm a weirdo. I don't fit in. But there are no ways to properly communicate. And some autistic people can speak. But it is true that not all of us can actually vocally speak. I myself, although I am vocal right now, am not vocal all of the time. And that is not by choice. Things just happen, and then Paige can no longer speak. But let's also remember that vocally speaking is not the only method of communication, and is not a method of communication that needs to be prioritized above all else. If you have an autistic child and your autistic child is not vocally speaking, there are lots of other methods of communication that you can use to make sure your child is getting their needs and their wants across to you. This can include sign language, or also getting an AAC communication thing on like an iPad or on their phone. All autistic people have their own voice, their own thoughts, their own opinions, their own feeling, and they all deserve communication. And that communication does not need to be speech for it to be important. We don't have empathy. Yeah, this is false, because empathy has a lot of layers to it. We can feel things. We have feelings. We can feel bad for other people. We can see, if someone tells us that they're upset, we can acknowledge that they're upset. I personally, if someone starts crying, I start crying. But sometimes someone's emotion doesn't make any sense to me. People are confusing, and sometimes their emotions just don't make sense. I am a Virgo moon, so when it comes to emotions, I am very factual, and I like to base all my emotions based on facts. And so sometimes people have emotions that don't make sense to me, that they react to a situation with an emotion that I would not do just because the facts don't line up, and that confuses me. And that is why we sometimes have lack of empathy, because someone could be crying over something that to us wouldn't make any sense to cry over, and then we are not crying over it, we are not upset over it because it doesn't make sense. And people go, you're not empathetic. No, I actually am quite empathetic. I just don't understand what's going on. Can't have a normal life. Well, okay, I believe that our lives will never be normal because we are autistic, and that's not normal. But when it comes to things like having a career and having a family and being independent, we can do those things. A lot of us do those things. I bet a lot of you watching this are, currently doing those things. I think that when it comes to living on your own and having your own career, a lot of the times, as an autistic person, you have to find what suits you. Find what you can do. Like what job, what life, like what accommodations do you need to be able to do those things? I worked a few jobs as a teenager, and I found out that I really can't have a boss. I need to set my own schedule. I need to be in my own space. I need it to be organized. I need a start and an end time. I need a minimal social interaction. And so then I started my own job by myself where I could do all those things. And so yes, I do have a career, but I would not be able to have a career if I couldn't find a job that fit those things. When it comes to living on my own, I do live on my own, but I don't live on my own like a normal person would be able to, like an holistic person would be able to. I'll never be able to live like an holistic person, but I can live on my own with accommodations put in place. And for those of you wondering, some of those accommodations are reminders of when to go to the bathroom, when to shower, when to eat, when to sleep, making sure I'm getting enough sleep, and also things like texting my mother every day to tell me what the temperature is like outside and what I should wear to fit my body, and having people come over to my house the odd time to make sure that I'm keeping my house at an okay amount of mess. And when it comes to a love life and having a family and all those things, we are human beings that want human being things. So of course we want that sometimes. Of course some of us want that. And we can do it. But again, we have to find a partner that works with us. But it can happen. There are cool people out there. There are accommodating people out there. So yes, big misconception. We can do lots of things as long as we have the accommodations to. People who are autistic are stupid. We are probably smarter than you. All of us. Yes, even them, probably smarter than you in different ways. Being smart is kind of subjective, and there are a lot of different ways to be smart. I mean, socially smart, are we socially smart? Probably not, okay? We're autistic. Like, are we people smart? I don't know. Listen, I'm speaking for myself. I know that I'm not. But I do know so many things about the human body, and I'm very good at math and science. Could I listen to a song and decipher the meaning for you? No, I could not. Could I explain to you why people act the way they do sometimes? Probably likely not to do that either. But our brains work in a way that's different than yours. We are often more detail-oriented. We have a lot of skills that benefit the entirety of society. And although those skills may be different than yours, they are still needed and still really important and still really freaking smart. And yeah, we're probably smarter than you. So that we don't want to socialize. Yeah, a lot of us, I mean, we're still human. A lot of us still crave human connection and interaction. That just means that it's harder for us sometimes. And so a lot of the times, if we want to socialize, it kind of needs to be on our terms. I mean, no one wants to be lonely, but everyone's definition of lonely isn't always just being alone. I could be alone for the rest of my life, and I wouldn't be lonely. But everyone's definition of lonely is different. I don't think anyone really wants to be lonely. A lot of us do want to socialize, but we just have a hard time doing so sometimes. Eye contact and good conversation skills means that you can't be autistic. Masking, baby! We are taught our whole lives to grow up and do these certain things and be this certain person. And as an autistic kid who needs rules, you're like, okay, sounds good, I will do those things. Sometimes, of course, not everybody does this. But I feel like an alien, and I have ever since I was a child. And so when someone said, oh, this is how you greet someone, I was like, sounds good. I went around shaking everyone's hands for the first 15 years of my life. Everyone's hands, including children. I was taught that was a rule that you do, and so that was a rule that I did. I would stare at people when they talked to me like this because I was taught that having eye contact means that you're listening with your ears because suddenly my ears are in my eyeballs. I don't know what that's about. And from personal experience, I've been an actor since I was 6 years old, so I have all these scripts and conversations memorized in my head. All these times directors told me what to do, what to be, like how to move my arms and how to move my face. Well, good news. I will use that for the rest of society for the rest of my life. We can do those things. Like I said, we're pretty smart. Still autistic though. Many of us share the same personality traits as the other. We are all different. We are all human. We are all different humans. We all also have different experiences. We also come from different lives. We have different access to accommodations. We have different intersectional identities. We have different past trauma. There are tons of things that are going to make us different. A lot of us have different needs, different supports. Autism isn't a one-size-fits-all. And autism's not a behavioral disorder. We're not all going to behave the same. We're not all going to be the same. Of course, we have some similarities or else we wouldn't be diagnosed with autism, but we are different humans just like everybody else in the world. So we're going to be different. All autistics have special skills. We don't have to have special skills. I feel like this is a thing that like people are like, oh, autistic people are only, only cool and accepted if they do something miraculous. Which, no. We don't have to do, and not all of us do. Some of us are savants. Some of us do have, just the most wild of skills. And that's super cool and should be celebrated as well because that's really cool. Not all of us do, and not all of us need to. Being autistic is enough. You can just be autistic. We are not here to please society or make you happy or be inspiration porn or have something really cool that makes you respect us as an autistic person and that identity. You are allowed to just be autistic and not have to please anybody and not have to change anything to prove yourself or to make someone accommodate you. Being autistic is just enough as it is. Okay, my dudes, that is enough for today about misconceptions about autism. If you guys have any thoughts about things that you would like to see in videos and any more misconceptions or anything you would like me to talk about and debunk, you let me know. All of the ways you can reach me are down below, including my Cameo, my Twitter, my Instagram, my TikTok. You guys can also email me if you would like to. I'm more likely to read emails because social media is kind of mean sometimes, and so I don't like to read comments. Because some of y'all do be mad. You do be mad, you do be nasty, and I'm just here trying to do my thing, Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for caring. Thank you for listening. Thank you for learning more about autism. Again, thank you to Function of Beauty for sponsoring this video. Make sure you guys click the link down below to get 20% off of your first order. I love you guys so much, and I will see you next week. So you guys better have a good week, and you better stay safe, okay? Aggressive love. I love you. Mwah. Bye.